If you want your product demonstrations or your proof of concept engagements to stick, to make people remember you or the gear long after your interaction, I have a recommendation for a simple framework to follow. Earlier today, I participated in a site review with an integrator. I came along for the ride. The site was a house of worship. The problem in question was they needed to overhaul their entire sound system. And his approach, both in preparation and execution to this meeting, was so simple, but I took note of it and I thought I should share. Number one, start by leaning into the pain they're experiencing. And what I mean by that is this. In this particular case, they were having an issue with speech intelligibility. And as this integrator so eloquently put it, you don't lead with features, lead with frustration. In other words, don't get bogged down in throwing a bunch of tech and spec at the end user. Help them understand the frustrations they're having with their current setup. Step one. So what does the room sound like currently? What are you not experiencing that you wish you could? What is the workflow headache that you need to change? And when they feel the problem, they are ready to fix it, which is why you're there. Number two, and this is where I really leaned in, tell a story about your solution. We as reps and integrators can digest a list of product features and spec in a way that helps us connect the dots between what those are and how it would perform in the wild. Take a speaker, for example. We can connect those dots, but many end users don't need to do that or can't do that. So when you're proposing your solution, avoid that and instead tell a story. You can reference other jobs that are similar that you've helped in the past, or better yet, relate to their specific application with why your chosen ecosystem of things is going to fix their problem. Stories and painting the picture for what your solutions are capable of doing anchor emotion in a way that spec and features cannot. And notice you're doing all this before you even demonstrate a single thing. But you are priming them to look for or hear for the fixes to the problems that you just discussed alongside them. And make sure you relate it to their world specifically. And then finally, actually conduct the demonstration. In today's very simple example, he would flip back and forth between the current system and his proposed solution. Now, no commissioning had been done, there was no full court press, but at this point, the end users understood the pain they were having and why there needed to be a fix. They understood that this new stuff being proposed would fix the problems. Now they're hearing the new stuff. Now all this seems so obvious, but we can geek out on the gear all day long as the reps and the integrators, and sometimes we lead a little too much with that when we are presenting or demonstrating to the client. But that rarely informs actions or motivates people to see the problems they're having and why and how they need to fix things. So again, start by showing the problem, paint the picture